Interactive tools. In this video, we are going to see about interactive tools. Interactive tools are used to handle forms, reply to user, and interact with server in view of user demand. The example of these tools are ASP, ActiveX controls, VB-script, Java, JavaScript, front page, Flash. These tools have the potential to make the web pages really very impressive. Active Server Pages ASP. Now we are going to see about what is Active Server Pages ASP. Active Server Pages ASP, also known as Classic ASP or ASP Classic, which was Microsoft's first server-side script engine for dynamically generated web pages. Active Server Pages ASP is a web-oriented technology for creating dynamic web pages. ASP is a Microsoft technology and it works by allowing us the functionality of a programming language. User writes programming codes that will generate the HTML for the web page dynamically. So, whenever a user browses to their website and requests one of our ASP pages, the ASP code is processed at that time by a special piece of software web server. This processing generates the HTML, which is then passed to the browser and used to create the page itself on the user's screen. Active Server Pages are text files that contain not only text and HTML tags as in standard web document, but also commands written in a scripting language that can be carried out on the server. All Active Server Pages saved with an .asp extension and can be accessed like standard URLs through a web browser such as Microsoft Internet Explorer or Netscape Navigator. The power of ASP lies in two facts. First, the HTML is not created until the user wants to see the web page. Second, it does not care what the browser is being used for. To run ASP on a computer, following softwares are required. ASP.NET use scripting languages which are responsible to perform operations in ASP pages. Sample usage. Any scripting languages compatible with Microsoft's active scripting standard may be used in ASP. The default scripting language is VB-script. Example of Hello World in VB-script. Or in a simpler format, the above examples print Hello World into the body of an HTML document. Here is an example of how to connect to an Access database. VB-script. Now let us see the video about VB-script. Visual Basic is a language based on one of the most taught language, BASIC, when first starting out with computers. VB-script is a subset of the Visual Basic for application programming language for Internet Explorer. Visual Basic or VBA, that is Visual Basic Application, is used to create web applications. JavaScript syntax is arguably less intuitive and more obtuse than that of VB-script and tends to be less forgiving of simple mistakes such as case sensitivity. VBScript is an untyped language, which means that all variables are variants and don't have an explicit type such as integer or string. VBScript was introduced by Microsoft way back in 1996 and the first version was 1.0. The current stable version of VBScript is 5.8, which is available as a part of IE8 or Windows 7. An example program for VBScript to print text as Hello World. Features of VBScript. VBScript is a lightweight scripting language which has a lightning-fast interpreter. VBScript, for the most part, is case-insensitive. It has a very simple syntax, easy to learn and implement. Unlike C++ or Java, VBScript is an object-based scripting language and not an object-oriented programming language. It uses Component Object Model (COM) in order to access the elements of the environment in which it is executing. Successful execution of VBScript can happen only if it is executed in host environments such as Internet Explorer (IE), Internet Information Services (IIS), and Windows Scripting Host (WSH). Disadvantages of VBScript. VBScript is used only by IE browsers. Other browsers such as Chrome, Firefox do not support VBScript. Hence, JavaScript is preferred over VBScript. VBScript has a limited command line support. Since there is no development environment available by default, debugging is difficult. VBScript variables and constants. Now we are going to see about the VBScript variables and constants. Variable is a named memory location used to hold a value that can be changed during the script execution. VBScript has only one fundamental data type, variant. Rules for declaring variables are: variable name must begin with an alphabet. Variable names cannot exceed 255 characters. Variables should not contain a period, that is dot. Variable names should be unique in the declared context. To declare variables are declared using dim keyword. Since there is only one fundamental data type, all the declared variables are variant by default. Hence, a user need not mention the type of data during declaration. For example, int value can be used as a string, integer, or even arrays. Two or more declarations are separated by comma. The following example program to declare variable and assign value to it. Output for above program is shown below. VBScript constants. Constant is a named memory location used to hold a value that cannot be changed during the script execution. If a user tries to change a constant value, the script execution ends up with an error. Constants are declared the same way the variables are declared. VBScript loops. In this video, we are going to see about VBScript loops. There may be a situation when user needs to execute a block of code several number of times. In general, statements are executed sequentially. The first statement in a function is executed first, followed by the second, and so on. Programming languages provide various control structures that allow for more complicated execution paths. A loop statement allows user to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times and following in the general form of a loop statement in VBScript. VBScript provides the following types of loops to handle looping requirements. Loop type. Description. For loop. Executes a sequence of statements multiple times and abbreviates the code that manages the loop variable. for each loop. This is executed if there is at least one element in group and reiterated for each element in a group. While loop. This tests the condition before executing the loop body. Do-while loops. The do-while statements will be executed as long as the condition is true, that is, the loop should be repeated till the condition is false. Do-until loops. VBScript provides the following types of loops to handle looping requirements. The following example shows the for loop execution. Java and front page. Now let us see the video of Java and front page. Java is an advanced, standardized, object-oriented programming language that can be used for many applications, not just web pages. Java has a unique quality, however, that has made it particularly useful for web pages. Programs written in Java can run out without modification on a broad variety of computers, that is platforms. That is, Java is multi-platform or platform neutral. It can be used to create animated web pages that interact with the user or pages that use the screen in unexpected ways. Java is a programming language originally developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystems and released in 1995 as a core component of Sun Microsystems' Java platform. The language derives much of its syntax from C and C++, but has a simpler object model and fewer low-level facilities. Java applications are typically compiled to bytecode, that is class file, that can run on any Java virtual machine JVM, regardless of computer architecture. Primary goals. There are 5 primary goals in the creation of the Java language. It should be simple, object-oriented, and familiar. It should be robust and secure. It should be architecture neutral and portable. It should execute with high performance. It should be interpreted, threaded, and dynamic. Java features. Applet. Java applets are programs that are embedded in other applications, typically in a web page displayed in a web browser. Servlet. Java Servlet technology provides web developers with a simple, consistent mechanism for extending the functionality of a web server and for accessing existing business systems. Servlets are server-side Java EE components that generate responses, typically HTML pages, to requests, typically HTML pages from clients. A servlet can almost be thought of as an applet that runs on the server side without a face. Java server page. JSPs are server-side Java EE components that generate responses, typically HTML pages, to HTTP requests from clients. JSPs embed Java code in an HTML page by using the special delimiters % and %. A JSP is compiled to a Java servlet, a Java application in its own right, the first time it is accessed. After that, the generated servlet creates a response. Swing application. Swing is a graphical user interface library for the Java SE platform. It is possible to specify a different look and feel through the pluggable look and feel system of Swing. Java program on the web can do everything as scripting language like JavaScript can do, and can generally do it faster. Java usually runs faster because the programs that are attached to the web pages are in binary form, that is machine readable form. Java is more useful as it is designed to work across the internet and across networks in general. Java programs can use internet services such as email, file transfer, and telnet, as well as web services to interact with programs around the world. What are Java applets? A Java applet is a small program written in the Java programming language. Applets are contained in separate binary files called class files that must be downloaded to their browser in addition to the HTML web pages. Sometimes the applet relies in turn on other binary files called library class files that must also be downloaded. Special instructions in the HTML code of the web page file. The applet associate applet files with a web page and transmit data to the applet that tells it how to operate. How to get applets? To write a Java applet, user must have good programming skills and understand how to use a compiled object-oriented language. User also needs some sorts of special tools that developers in other sophisticated languages like C or C++ require: compilers, linkers, libraries, debuggers, documentations, and the like. The original collections of tools for this purpose is called the Java Development Kit by Sun Microsystems, who pioneered the Java language, and is available at http://java.sun.com. How to use applets? To use an applet with their web page, user must add tags to their web page and place the class file, that is the applet file, on there, usually in the same directory as their web page. Following is an example of one way the code is often written using the applet and /applet tags. The example uses a hypothetical applet called sitemap class that creates a graphical image displaying a table of contents, that is sitemap, for their website. Front page. Front page is a web page editor from Microsoft. It is a standalone application that user can purchase separately. Front page has many more features than Front Page Express. It allows viewing and managing the overall structure of their websites and creating web pages. A website is a collection of related files that are linked together to form an information unit that user can publish on web. Front page is their web navigation center, the place where users start and finish their work on the web. Front page web is simply a website that was created in or is maintained with front page. When users construct a website, they can create individual web pages and string them together with links so that visitors can easily jump from pages to pages. Front page simplifies the process with built-in website templates and wizards. Front page solution to web publishing. User can create a website from scratch using any text editor. The web-smart components of Front Page 2000 that make the task easier for users are server extension, add-on programs for web server software that make the server front page aware and able to interact more closely with front page webs. Front page view. The different views of web that allow user to add, remove and rename resources, keep all the hyperlinks up to date, edit web pages in a powerful yet easy to use HTML editor are Page view, Reports view, Navigation view, Hyperlink view, Task view, Folder view. Image Composer. It is an image editor that lets user to create, modify or import images for any website. JavaScript. We are going to see the video of JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language used to enable programmatic access to objects within other applications. It is primarily used in the form of client-side JavaScript for the development of dynamic websites. JavaScript, despite the name, is essentially unrelated to the Java programming language, even though the two do have superficial similarities. JavaScript copies many Java names and naming connections. The following example shows the standards confirming web page containing JavaScript using HTML syntax. Flash. In this video, we are going to see about Flash. Flash is multimedia software that allows users to view interactive content and applications on the web. Flash software is used for creating vector graphics, animation, games, and rich internet applications (RIAs) that can be viewed, played, and executed. Flash is frequently used to add streamed video or audio players, advertisement, and interactive multimedia content to web pages, although usage of Flash on websites is declining. Flash manipulates vector and raster graphics to provide animation of text, drawings, and still images. It allows bidirectional streaming of audio, video, and it can capture user input via mouse, keyboard, microphone, and camera. Flash applications and animations can be programmed using the object-oriented language called ActionScript. Flash Professional is the most popular authoring tool for creating the Flash content, which also allows automation via the JavaScript Flash language JSFL. Flash Player makes the Flash content accessible on various computer systems, devices, and is available free of charge for common web browsers under a few of the major operating systems, some smartphones and tablets, and a few other electronic devices using Flash Lite. There are many options in Flash Player. Some of them are creating graphics, working with layers, adding motions, sound, and text. Working with Flash. Let us see the process of working with Flash in this video. Getting started. To begin, open Flash Professional CC. CC represents Creative Cloud. User will be presented with the screen as shown above. Click ActionScript 3.0. The upper left corner of the screen displays the Tools palette, which contains tools that user can use to create or modify graphics and text. User can select a tool by clicking on it. Tool modifiers for the selected tool display below the Tools palette. User can use modifiers to set tool options. The timeline appears in the upper portion of the screen. User can use the timeline to lay out the sequence of their movie. The stage displays in the center of the screen. User can create their movie on the stage. The grid. The grid While creating graphics, the grid is often helpful. To turn on the grid, choose View, go to Grid, go to Edit Grid from the menu. The Grid dialog box opens. Click the color box and select blue to have the grid lines display in blue. Choose Show Grid to cause the grid to display. Choose Show Over Objects, the grid display over the object which is drawn in the stage. Choose Snap to Grid to cause the edges of your graphic to align with the grid lines. Set the horizontal field to 20 px to separate horizontal lines by 20 pixels. Set the vertical field to 20 px to separate vertical lines by 20 pixels. Set the snap accuracy to normal. Click OK. The Property panel. Choose Window, go to Properties from the menu. The property is one of the panel found in Flash. When user is not working in a panel, they can collapse to icon. To collapse the property panel, click the collapse icon. To open the property panel again, click the expand icon. Tools in Flash Player. Now we are going to see about the tools in Flash Player. The Oval tool. The Oval tool is used to draw an ellipse that will turn the ellipse into a symbol. To draw the ellipse, choose the Oval tool. There are two color boxes on the modifier panel. These color boxes are used to set the stroke and fill colors. The stroke color outlines their drawing. The fill color fills the center of their drawing. Click the stroke color box and then click the color black to choose black as their stroke color. Click the fill color box and then click the color navy to choose the navy as their fill color. User can also set the thickness of the stroke line in the Property Inspector. To set the thickness of the stroke line, if the property is not open, choose Window, points to Properties from the menu. Choose Solid from the drop-down menu to select the type of line that will outline their drawing. Type 3 in the Stroke Height field to set the line thickness. Click on the stage and drag diagonally to draw the ellipse. The Pencil tool. The Pencil tool is to draw freehand shapes. To use Pencil tool, choose View, points to Edit Grid from the menu. Deselect Snap to Grid. Click OK. Choose the Pencil tool. Click the Stroke Color box and choose brown as the stroke color. Click the Fill Color box and choose brown as the fill color. On the modifier panel, if Object Drawing is selected, deselect Object Drawing. On the modifier panel, choose the Smooth option. This option rounds the corners of the drawing. For example, to draw the tree trunk, make sure the starting point and the ending point connect. Choose the Paint Bucket tool. User can use the Paint Bucket tool to fill enclosed areas with color. Click inside the trunk to fill the trunk with color. Grouping. Now let us see the process of grouping in this video. Grouping option is used to group two objects. User can also turn that grouped object into a symbol. For example, choose the Selection tool. Use the Selection tool to create a rectangle around the tree. This selects the tree. Choose Modify Points to Group from the menu to make the tree top and the tree trunk a single object. Choose Modify Points to Convert to Symbol from the menu. The Symbol Properties box will open. Type Tree in the name field. Choose Graphic as the behavior type. Click OK. The tree now appears in the library. Press the Delete key to remove the tree from the stage. Layering. In this video, we are going to see about layering. Layer is like a transparent sheet on which user can paint on it. User can see through each layer to the layers under it until they add color. User can also add layers, delete layers, and change the position of layers. Each layer is independent of all other layers. The layer that user are currently working on is called the active layer. They can view layer information on the timeline. To rename a layer, click the layer to rename. Choose Modify Points to Timeline, Points to Layer Properties from the menu. The Layer Properties dialog box opens. Type layer name in the name field. Click OK. To add new layers, for example, to create a new layer for the sky, choose Insert Points to Timeline, Points to Layer from the menu to create a new layer above the active layer. Choose Modify Points to Timeline, Points to Layer Properties from the menu. The Layer Properties dialog box opens. Type Sky in the name field. Click OK. To create the sky, make sure Sky is the active layer. When a layer is active, it is highlighted and there is a pencil icon on the layer. User can click on the layer name to make a layer active. Move the library panel. If the library panel is not open, choose Window Points to Library from the menu to open the library. Click the icon next to Sky and drag a copy of Sky onto the stage.